day that Sunny came into my life, or the day that I met my best friend, was July 28th, 2009. I had just started my shift when I was waiting tables at Joe's Crab Shack at the time. All I heard was a really loud boom. One of my tables said, "Oh my God, someone just threw a dog off the bridge." And I was like, no, there's no way that happened. Someone's crazy, you know. Sure enough, looked a little bit closer and could see her floppy ears. I just jumped around and acted like a crazy buffoon and started yelling baby and trying to get her to swim towards me, and that's what she did. You know, her spirit was infectious to me the moment that she got pulled out of the water, and I knew how special she was, and I was like, you know, I'll take her home. I'll find her a home. Why not? I've fostered dogs before. So when I was threatened with eviction from my apartment for owning a pit bull looking dog, a lot of people were reaching out to me, offering help. And one of the people that contacted me was named Maureen Keenan.
What we were talking about doing was trying to create a foster network for animals who were evidence in court cases. And we started hitting walls right away. It was nobody's fault, but there was so much red tape. So we're standing in a shelter. We can't take these dogs out and put them in foster homes. But then we look around and we see, wow, at that time, over 90% of those dogs were pit bulls. So if we can help these dogs who are evidence in cases, then we surely can help all these pit bulls. And then we just sort of fell into it.
So it just kind of happened because no one else was doing it. No one else was rescuing and adopting out these dogs.
Everything is about protecting the safety of the animals and the humans, and then making sure that we create an environment, which is what that particular dog will likely need.
Mm-hmm. We are solely foster-based, and we have about 7, I would say, core foster homes that we have really cultivated amazing relationships with, and we know, exactly what kind of dog can go into their home.
The thing that we help with mostly, though, is behavior. Dogs starting to feel better, dogs get, now the dogs are all crazy, or 2 of the dogs aren't getting along, or the dog's knocking my kid over, whatever it is. And then we deploy people into the home and to do behavior things, and we help them get together for pack walks and things like that. And once the foster parent says, I feel like the dog is ready, they're settled in, I think I know who they are, then the foster parent gives me, and Michelle also, the best sense of that personality that they can give us. And then we post the dog up on Pet Finder, Adopt a Pet, sometimes on the Facebook page, and then we start promoting them for adoption. The humans in every dog's life are the bottom line for whether that dog stays in a home or goes to a shelter. So the light went on for us. We have got to work with the humans in the home. We cannot look past them and just focus on the dog. The number of pit bulls just keeps, you pull 10, you get 12 in. This battle that we just could not seem to keep up with. And then at some point in the conversation, the question was raised, what if we could stop the flow into the shelter? What if we could prevent the number from going up?
Come to find out, there's a lot of resources that dog owners are lacking in the ability to care for their pets. And, surrendering a dog to a shelter is often a very traumatic last resort for families. And a lot of people don't realize that, especially the animal welfare community. We are all really quick to pass judgment on people that give up their pets when we don't know the situation that they're in. We don't know what resources they're lacking. We don't know what they're struggling with. We don't know if they're struggling to put food on the table for their human children. So why don't we start evaluating these issues, practice a little bit of judgment-free compassion, and advocate for not only dogs, but their humans too.
So it was a complete leap of faith that we said, let's find a zip code or 2 where the intake is very high, and let's go in there and see what do people need. But what we knew would be clear and simple and needed by everybody was food, flea and tick prevention, for some folks, leashes and collars, name tags, so that when the dogs got out, they could go right back home. So we thought, let's just give them those basics and see how it goes. In addition, we said to folks, is your dog going to be going to a shelter because of behavior? Hold on. We're going to send people to your home for free and work out your behavior issues. So we went in there and said, all right, let's see. And after a couple of months, the intake numbers started to steadily decline. And after a year and then 2 years, the data, because of course we keep really, really tight data, thank you, Kelsey, and what we're seeing and what the local shelter is seeing is the numbers have gone down, not just of pit bulls, but of dogs generally.
I think the biggest point to drive home when it comes to pit bull terrier dogs or dogs that look like pit bulls is that they're just dogs. You know, there are amazing stories like Sunny's every day, but there are also millions of pit bulls in homes that do nothing but love their families every day. You know, they're not newsworthy. Just them laying on the couch snoring and farting is not a news story, but it just goes to show that they're just dogs, and you know, they're just like humans in the fact that they don't need to be defined by their physical appearance. They need to be defined by who they are as individuals.
Before pit bulls, it was Dobermans, and it was German Shepherds, and it was Rottweilers, and it was the flavor of the month or the decade or whatever it was. And I think that because pit bulls and pit bull type dogs have been used by people who take advantage of and abuse their people-pleasing nature, that it made for good press to show a dog who was behaving in a way that was human-created, not a way that these dogs come by naturally at all. And to just create those images and plant those images in the minds of people. I was a victim of that. When I met Sunny, I didn't even register that she was a pit bull. But once that image is planted and that fear is created, it is very hard to undo it, because you have to do it dog by dog by dog, person by person by person. It's very hard.